To say I don't have good connection, so.
Do you see?
How's it?
No, I want them to see.
The big thing is probably the sound.
We'll walk that way after this, okay?
Yeah, it's going through okay.
Bring the backup battery. Did you bring your backup battery? What's up, Goff? I don't know if you can hear me very well.
They can probably hear you from this phone.
Yeah, probably. Chicky's making fun of me. What's up, Shad?
Wait, really?
Yeah. He was standing under the
Was he dressed as a character?
He had like a laced up shirt on, which like is from afar, so like you probably don't think. Oh, there he is. He's standing right under that big giant tankard. Yeah, you see him? So even look at the flag. It's great.
You just missed it. There was a lizard. Goff.
Jousting sticks are in the way. Where you were before, you could see him. See the big flag?
We might be, Goff. I don't know.
I assume, yeah.
Do you want to sing out?
Oh, here you go. See, yeah, what he said.
That'd be a good idea too.
Be good on Michael's. Maybe can buy like a little bit. Buy a little bit of that. We get nails.
Yeah, Shad, we always like it. Might try to do a couple other shows later. A couple shows that I enjoy. I don't think I've ever seen this. It's called the Militia Mayhem.
Oh, that. I thought you
Okay, ladies and welcome to Militia Mayhem! Now, in order to get things started, we have to do it properly. And the proper way to start the mayhem is, of course, with Captain Romero's signal cannon! This cannon has been passed down from father to son, son to son, all the way down to him. And lords and ladies, he's going to start the show today with a blast from his cannon. Captain Romero, are you ready? It's time to blast! Lords and ladies, that signals the beginning of Militia Mayhem. My name is Sheriff Drake Maxwell. I am the sheriff of all Oxfordshire and also the head of the Rebel Grove Militia. Surrounding me here on the field today are the members of the Rebel Grove Militia, and let me take a moment to introduce them all to you. First off, the tallest man on the field, that's right, he's dangerously stupid, it's Dash Remington! At the far end of the field, standing by the target, it's our one and only militia scout, it's Millie! On the other side of the target in the strange clothing, that is, of course, Millie's mentor, Nibblewick! Militias often deal in pain, and we've got a double dose of it for you here today. That's right, it's Cecily and Constance, the Pain Sister! And that's mine. Henry J. Knuckles! You heard him sound his signal cannon just a few moments ago, but now it's time to introduce him properly. It's Captain William Romero! And now, a special introduction for a very, very special man. He's the sweetest man out here on the field. A man who is so bright, his mother calls him son. That's right, boys and ladies. It's the sweetest one there is. It's Sonny D. And now let's start the mayhem, of course, with the siege weapons. And here to tell us all about the siege weapons is the master of siege. It's Dash Rippington. Take it away, Dash.
Thank you, Sheriff. Lords and ladies, the first weapons we are going to discuss today are the siege engines. And the first one we're going to discuss is the one over here on the side of the bracy field. It is on top of the black and yellow tripod. It is a 1/11 size scale version of a bow-assisted catapult, otherwise known as the Patria Arcana! Now this weapon was a short-range weapon. It could fire a 500-pound boulder, roughly 100 to 200 yards downfield in a straight, narrow arrow. Now, the way this weapon was fired is the throwing arm is tucked inside the string of the bow and pulled back tight. When the trigger is pulled, the bowstring sends the throwing arm forward until it hits the stop, sending the projectile flying. Now, we're going to give you a demonstration of what this weapon looks like when fired, and we're going to need all of your help. We're going to count from 3 to 1 and yell, "Give fire!" And some lucky audience member will end up with a marshmallow. Gently, nobles, I must remind you that this is a Renaissance fair. If the marshmallow hits the ground, do not eat it. All right, so here we go. Everyone, 3, 2, 1. Give fire!
Marshmallow.
It's no good! No good!
See what they're doing there?
All right, now as they reload the weapon, I will also say that because this was a short-range weapon and obviously made of wood, it was easily set on fire by enemy forces if they got close enough. So, this is one of the things that they would do to protect their wooden weapons. They would wrap them in whitened animal skins. And to whiten those skins, they would use water, vinegar, and other fluids that would be readily available on a battlefield with no privy access, and we'll leave it at that. Oh, you're ready, you're ready. Okay, here we go. We're ready for the second shot. Everyone, once again, 3, 2, 1, give fire!
Yay! Marshmallow attained. Ooh, this marshmallow's coming our way.
I will let you know that this is also the first recorded instance of the engineers functioning as a fire brigade. Should those wetted animal skins not prevent their weapons from being set on fire, they would work as a team of people in a line passing buckets of water from one person to the next in order to put the siege engine out. Now, we are almost ready for the third and final shot of the Betrayal Arcana, and so we...
Over here, over
Wait,
here.
what? No, no. Oh, lords and ladies, the third and final shot will be fired by Captain Romero wearing a blindfold! All right, we are ready for the third shot, so everyone must be extra loud because he can't see you. Everyone, 3, 2, 1, give fire! It's a minute! All right, now we're going to move forward in history a bit, moving forward in time and out into the center of our field. Down at the end of the list, you will see another siege engine. This is one you may be familiar with. You would know this weapon as the Trebuchet! Now this is a 1/10 size scale trebuchet, and it does fire differently than the Betrayer. It is now a longer ranged weapon and can now fire that same 500-pound boulder, now 600 to 800 yards downfield, in a nice high lobbing motion, which is useful if you want to throw things over a castle wall instead of through one. Now, this weapon is so quiet because it uses gravity as its propulsion. You'll see a bucket at the top there. That is attached to the bottom of the throwing arm. When the trigger is pulled, gravity does its job, pulling that bucket downward at the bottom of the arm, sending the top of the throwing arm up and over. The ammunition is in the center, down below in the blue satchel. Now, friends, at the end of the list, we must warn you, this weapon fires backwards before it fires forwards, so if you see an item flying at you, it is moved! Look, we can't afford 3D technology! And it does sometimes fly that way, so beware. All right, we are ready for this. Everyone, once again. 3, 2, 1, get fire! It's going down the other side to the right a little bit. If we're doing stand, we're calling it good. Now, as we said, Millie, you don't have to run it. They've got more ammunition. You don't have to run it fast.
Woo, Millie! Let's go, Millie. Let's go, Millie.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. They're in a league of their own. All right, now, as I said, they would obviously be throwing things up and over walls. Sometimes, if they're far enough back, they would hit the wall. But sending items over walls was very popular with this weapon. In fact, if they were not firing stones, other popular elements would be kegs of snakes, scorpions, incendiary fluids, kegs of bees. Bees! Yes, bees! And in the case of biological warfare, if you had a dead plague victim, send them up and into the castle, and you get a castle in about a week. All right, we're ready for the second and final shot of the trebuchet. We need everyone this time. Everyone, once again. 3, 2, 1. Get fire! You didn't even make it to the firing line. Lords and ladies, the siege engine!
Hold this for a second.
Thank you, Dash. Now, lords and ladies, we're going
Up
to
there.
move
Say hi, friends.
teams to operate it. And we're going to move on to the individual projectile weaponry. The first projectile weapon that we're going to bring up is the Atlatl. As you see, Reginald there has his Atlatl.
Atlatl.
Oh.
Thank you,
The
Kevin.
Atlatl is
Down
a
there, the
spear
Atlatl.
throwing lever. The name Atlatl is an Aztec word. It means spear throwing lever. That's right, it's Aztec. He gets a death whistle when he hits the time. The Atlatl is accurate. It's accurate over 1,000 yards, and it's most accurate at
I can't tell if I'm looking at it. I can't tell if I'm looking at it.
Kind of. Go right a little bit.
There we have it, lords and ladies, the Atlatl. Now we're going to move on to a projectile weapon that you're probably a little bit more familiar with, and that is the bow and arrow. Now, lords and ladies, here to tell us all about European arms training is our own Cecily Payne. Take it away, Cecily!
Thank you, Sharon. Lords, ladies, and honored guests, I hold in my hand an English longbow. Now, the bow that I used to shoot with is approximately a 50-pound weight at a 28-inch draw length. That sounds impressive for a woman of my size and stature, does it not? Except for right now when I tell you that the war bows used Oh, starting off the set with the knives. So, we're doing honestly, aren't we? There are more than 130 those which survive from the Renaissance period, most of which were recovered from the shipwreck of the Mary Rose, one of King Henry's naval ships that sank in 1545. Now, as you can see, my bow, even strung, is taller than I am. The average length of the bows recovered from the Mary Rose was approximately 2 meters or 6.5 feet.
Cecily,
Yes, sir.
there are quite a few gentlemen in the audience here who I'm sure are a bit disadvantaged in measurements. So could you give us a visual representation of what exactly 6.5 feet looks like?
Indeed. Gentlemen, it's not as long as you think it is. Dash,
Yes.
how tall are you?
I'm 6.5 feet tall.
One dash tall.
1 dash tall.
That is a big bow.
It's a longbow.
Exactly.
So the longbow was used by the English and Welsh for both hunting and warfare. Now, even though the longbows used by the English could fire up to, again, 10 arrows a minute, most archers would only be given 60 to 72 arrows in the course of the battle. The longbow reached its peak of popularity during the 100 Years' War and was most famously used at the Battle of Agincourt. Hopefully you've heard of that. It is the subject of one of the most famous plays ever written. Really? Oh, you're uncultured. Oh dear. It is said that in the first minute of the Battle of Agincourt, more than 50,000 arrows were let loose by English archers. Many remember this as the day the sky grew dark with arrows.
Many remember it as the day arrows rained from the sky.
And many don't remember it at all.
Because they were dead.
Thank you. Is it too soon? Is Agincourt too soon? Oh dear. Alright, well, sorry about that. Well, moving on. Enormous amounts of practice were required to gain proficiency with the longbow. So much so that you can actually tell the skeleton of a medieval archer because longbows cause deformities at the skeletal level, usually in the left shoulder and arm. Speaking of enlarged left arms, let's give it up for our man on the line, Sonny D. The D stands for dainty. Now, because of the amount of practice required to achieve proficiency with their weapon, archers were treated as a higher-ranking class of warriors. That is, until the introduction of the crossbow. Now, the crossbow was the first long-range weapon that was... Wonderfully done, Millie. The crossbow was the first long-range weapon that was both cheap to manufacture and physically undemanding, meaning you could manufacture and train lots of crossbow soldiers in a short time. And for little cost beyond the manufacture of the weapons themselves. The crossbow relies on a recoiling trigger mechanism called a prod, which is then mounted horizontally on a frame called a tiller, which is similar to the stock of a firearm. Instead of arrows, the crossbow fires bolts or quarrels. The crossbow was introduced to England by the Norman invaders in 1066. It was considered such a barbarous weapon that it was a crime to use, except against infidels, and was considered hateful to God. And speaking of hateful to God, I mean, sort of take your pick. They're all...
You see him right in front of you?
Yep,
He just went in.
Anyway, that being said, back to you, Shadow.
Thank you, Cecily. Lords and ladies, a lot of people always think of archery as a purely European thing, simply because of stories like William Tell or Robin Hood. But I'm here to let you know, archery is all across the world.
I'm gonna want to switch on
Here
the
to
other
tell us
side
all
of
about
between
the influence
shows.
of Asian archery is our own Nimblewing. Take it away, Nimblewing.
Clearly I'm dressed differently. Reason is, you have to think differently for Asian archery. The English draw with the fingers. In Asia, they draw with the thumb. I'm using a gigage to protect my thumb, whereas Constance is using a thumb ring to protect her thumb. The arrow rests on the opposite side of the bow to the English. Everything about it is different. This horse bow, used by the Turks and the Mongols in the steppes of Russia, is even made out of different material. They don't have trees on the steppes of Russia, so this entire bow would have been made out of water buffalo. The ends, called the sia, are made out of bone, as is the central handle. The limbs are made out of horn that is bent and heated in a form. Their practice is to ride in onto the enemy, encircle them, and drop in as many arrows as they can. What's nice about this is the enemy is huddled into a single place where we bury them with arrows. However, we do have one problem. They might chase us out. They have horses too. So you want to be sure they don't follow you, and they used to use what's known as the Parthian shot. In English, we changed it to making a parting shot at someone. But if they're following me, they shouldn't. You should be able to drop in an arrow. Wherever we need to go. That's one style of horseback archery. In a totally different country, we have this. This is a Japanese yumi. It is also a horseback bow. You can see it's held at the 1/3 point, allowing me to use it on either side of the horse. It is asymmetric to allow me to do that. So the curves on each side are different. Also, my arrow, or ya, is completely different. It is so long because they don't draw just to the face. They draw as deeply as they can. And that draw comes from the sky down. It looks something like this. Now, when the Japanese archer has to clear his mind to shoot the arrow, a chant goes through his head. That chant is Inyo, Inyo. It's darkness and light. That's how we live our lives. The sound of the bowstring scares away evil demons and brings good demons to you. So you got that going for you. It's also said to heal. Now, when the Portuguese get to Japan, the gun arrives. And there's an argument, just like here in England, which is best, the archer or the musketeer. In Japan, the contest was for endurance. There is a veranda at a temple. From a kneeling position, 150 yards away,
For those of you gentlemen, that is 60 dash.
in a kneeling position, they deliver as many arrows as they can for a 24-hour period. Of the 80 archers told, most are not recorded. But the winner of this competition was an archer named Washa Daiichiro. In a 24-hour period, Washa Daiichiro fired 13,000 arrows. Of that, more than 8,000 hit. His hit rate is slightly greater than 60%, and his rate of fire for 24 hours is 9 arrows a minute. That's Japanese archery.
Thank you, gentlemen. Now, Lord and ladies, before we move on to the black powder weaponry, I'd like to take a moment for a public service announcement. Lord and ladies, you are about to see the black powder weaponry. Now, when you see these weapons fired, I'm sure there are quite a few of you who will think to yourselves, wow, that looks like a lot of fun to shoot. Well, lords and ladies, I am here to tell you, it's a lot of fun to shoot. However, they are also very, very dangerous. Everyone out here on the field firing these weapons today has been trained in the use and safety of these weapons. Now, lords and ladies, when the black powder weapons are around, it said it's dangerous. So, children, gentlemen, everyone, if at any point someone comes up to you with a gun, a weapon, a black powder weapon, a rifle, and says to you, hey, look what I got. Let me show you what it does. Or, hey, let's play with this. If that happens, you have one job and one job only. And that job is to run away and get help. These weapons are dangerous, and someone might get hurt. And that someone might just be you. So, stay. Don't play. Now, lords and ladies, it's time to move on to the black powder weapons. Here to tell us all about it once again is Nibblewick. Take it away, Nibblewick.
Lords and ladies, this demonstration begins with a volley. All guns will be firing, and it is quite loud. Any man will begin fire them to go off. If you don't like loud noises, cover your ears. Militia, present your weapons. Cock your weapons and open your pants. Fire in the hole. Get fire! That's how it sounds, and that's what it's like to be on the opposite end. We're going to start our demonstration with the 15th century. This is a matchlock, as is the one Knuckles has on the opposite side. We will show you how it works. There are over 30 steps below that fire this weapon. A well-trained musketeer can fire 3 shots a minute. We'll take you through the demonstration, and it works like this. Recover your feet. Open your pants. Bring out your pants. Handle your charge. Charge your weapon. Pull your pants. Shake off loose corn. Blow off loose corn. Cast about your feet. Handle your charge. Yes, around my body, all these bottles are filled with gunpowder, and we run into a battle wearing gunpowder. Withdraw your scouting stick. Ram home your charge. Withdraw your scouting stick. Put up your scouting stick. Cover your feet. Handle your match. Blow your match. The match is a burning cotton string. It burns like a cigarette. It's full of nitric acid. Place your feet, or place your match. Try your match. Present your piece. Open the pan. Fire in the hole. Give fire. Now, we move forward in time. First, early 16th century. This is a ship-based weapon called blunderbuss. You can see that it's wide open. It takes everything to pour down the barrel. Rocks, nails, lead balls, whatever you want. On a pitching ship, it's easy to load. This is a flintlock. There is a dog that holds a piece of flint, a heavy, heavy stone. Then there is a pan called prison. The flint strikes a prison, and it peels off some steel sparks. That steel falls into the pan and starts to powder. This is the first weapon ready to shoot at any moment. All you have to do is pop it. Having a barrel. Present your piece. Fire in the hole. Fire! You will also note that on these weapons with a pan, we hide our faces under the brims of our hats because the flash shows everything. Next up, we have the Queen Anne pistol. It's a lovely, dainty pistol, and it works perfectly for the popinjay who is holding it. This is a weapon you can hide on your person, so you wanted to assassinate someone. It's brilliant for that. Present your piece. Cut your piece with your dainty little hand. Fire in the hole. Give fire. All that good. Fire in the hole. Give fire. No sparking. Right. Fire. Charge it. Next up, the Sisters of Peggy Cecily and they're holding a set of matched Kentucky booming pistols, 17th century. We have now gotten rid of the flint, but as you can see, sometimes it fails. These are what are called cap and ball. There's a small copper cap that sits on his nipple. That cap is filled with fulminate mercury. When the hammer hits it, a charge flies down the nipple and fires the gun. Please present your weapons. Cover your weapons. Fire in the hole. Give fire. Imagine a dueling here on the other end. And now, finally, our scout, Millie, has the optic rifle. This is the last of the cap and balls. It has 2 triggers, so you can set the trigger for air trigger in case you're hunting. Millie, present your piece. Cock your piece. Fire in the hole. Give fire. Yes, we're serious about it. This is a demonstration from Blackhawk.
All right, now, out the ages, there has always been a debate as to which is better, black powder or archery. The lords and ladies, we are going to settle this debate today with a contest. This contest will be for 1 minute and 1 minute only, and it will be up to you, the audience here, to help us out. Because not only will you be cheering for the contestants, you will also be counting the number of shots they fire. You'll count those in your hand, not yelling out loud. It's all confusing. So, lords and ladies, let's find out who your contestants are and who you're cheering for. First off, from the end of the list to just about right in front of me, you are going to be cheering for Knuckles and his matchlock. Next up, from right here all the way around to right here, you will be cheering for Captain Romero and his crossbow. And finally, the rest of the arena will be cheering for the sweetest man on the field. It's Sunny D and his longbow. All right, contestants, get ready and fire! All the ladies, remember to cheer for your contestants. The more you cheer, the better it goes. They Sunny D is ready to Knuckles got the shot. There we go. Lords and ladies. Match today. We'll see how well it turns out. It's up to you to keep cheering for your people. We're halfway through. Let's go. Knuckles just got it. Let's see how quickly things can go here. Lords and ladies, we are now into the final 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. Cease fire. All right, lords and ladies, let's find out how our contestants did. Lords and ladies, over here. How many shots did Knuckles fire with his matchlock? 4. Excellent. How many shots did Captain Romero and his crossbow fire? 6.
9.
5, 7. We'll just go with that. Split it. All right. So 7. And finally, how many shots did Sunny D and the longbow fire? 16. 6. You know, if you add shots, I deduct that from the total. You're in the negative number. So 16 shots. More than the matchlock and the crossbow combined.
But how
So
many did you
obviously, the longbow is the winner. So lords and ladies, why because the longbow is the superior weapon, you cannot move to black powder? Well, I'll tell you why. Because in order to become a proficient longbow, it takes years and years of training and practice to even become the slightest bit proficient. But with the matchlock, all you've got to do is have a weapon, some gunpowder and shot, and a little card that says, do this. 40 minutes later, you're a musketeer. So we switched to black powder because it's easy. Now, lords and ladies, you saw all the weapons fired here on the field today. And if you're interested in learning how to use them, there are places that can teach you. I encourage you to find these places and learn proper and safety of the weapon. But I also challenge you not to take the easy way out and go to black powder, but instead take the more dignified, superior way, learn to be a longbow. Lords and ladies, this concludes Militia Mayhem. If you have any questions, we're up there at the Militia table.
We might be back later. I don't know. Might watch a couple other shows. Depends on how my battery life is, what kind of connection I have. So, all right, guys, thanks for watching. Talk to you guys later. Toodaloo, bitches.
Bye.